At Nammex, in order to provide a more bioavailable product, we process all of our mushrooms into extract powders. And the first step in this actually is at the farm, where the fresh mushrooms have to be dried and then they're packed and shipped to the extraction factory. And it's really important the way these mushrooms are actually packed, because there are many microorganisms as well as insects that can get into the mushroom and spoil it. So it has to be kept totally dry, no moisture, and packed so that there's no, and stored where there are no microorganisms that can get in and consume it. For the first thing that happens in this process is we will grind the dried mushrooms, either grind them into a fine powder for extraction or else into a coarse powder. And that ground mushroom will be fed into this extraction vessel from the tube above in this photo. And then once the mushrooms are in the vessel, it will be filled with water, and all that water in this extraction facility goes through a very high quality filtering system, which takes out all the impurities of the water. You can see the extraction vessel on the right side of this photo here. The mushrooms will be cooked from 1 to 3 times at 90 degrees Celsius and for 3 hours. In some cases, like with reishi or chaga, we might cook it once with alcohol. Once they've been cooked, the fluid is drawn off to these other tanks where it is concentrated, concentrated down into a syrup. And once we get it to the right specific gravity, it will be fed to a very large spray dryer. And the spray dryer is just a large cyclone with a lot of hot air blowing through it. And the fluid from the top to the very bottom of this spray dryer, the fluid will turn into a very fine powder. And it's collected in this clean room here to make sure that it's totally clean. There's no contaminants in there. And one of the things about the factory too is that there are very large banks of HEPA filters. So all of the air in this factory in the important areas is supplied with very, very clean air, free of microorganisms. And in fact, all throughout the factory, there are various areas where we've got petri dishes down that are collected on a daily basis, just to see whether anything has entered the factory into these spaces and how clean it actually is. Now, the product is collected in these particular bags here. In some cases, what might happen is that it would go into a space where it might be screened, or it could even be reground if there's some coarse areas. And then finally, it will be packaged into generally 1 or 5 kilo packages for shipping. All of that, once it's packed, it is stored here in the warehouse prior to shipping. All of our mushrooms are cultivated deep in the mountains of China, very clean areas. This is the shiitake mushroom temple that is in the mushroom capital of China. A lot of people don't know this, but China grows 85% of the world's mushrooms. And one of the things that you need to realize is that you cannot grow mushrooms in North America and make a profit selling them for supplement use. So no mushrooms are grown in the U.S. and get into the supplement market. This temple is a very special place. On the altar is a statue of Wu Songgong, who is the man who learned how to grow shiitake mushrooms back in the 12th century. I love going to this temple. It's just a beautiful spot and just reminds me of how deep the knowledge and culture is regarding mushrooms in China. Thanks for watching.